what I felt walking up here was like, oh my God, I've got to sit here and talk. And it really does kind of facilitate the conversation back and forth. It's like, I want to spill my guts. It's kind of like being at your hairdresser's. You know, it's like you don't need to tell your hairdresser everything because this is the exact same feel, because you feel like it's a comfortable, safe place. And when I go back out into the world, okay, I can put my shell back on. But here, this is the place where stories are going to happen, and this is the place where you just want to tell everything.
God, then spill your beans.
No, I'm gonna spill my beans. Yeah. So I better get off this porch before I reveal too much.
So you were mentioning about being an artist in this region, and that idea of connectedness. Could you just tell us that a little bit?
Well, yeah, I mean, I know, and I don't know if that has to do with the economy, but being a fine artist, I'm a sculptural artist. I do sculptural work. And doing shows in the community and beyond, from New York to Montreal. And coming to a point where I sometimes wonder if the general public is really all that connected to the artists in the community, and if what the artists are producing are all that connected to their own communities. I mean, a lot of it is, so I can't generalize about a lot of artists. But sometimes when you do go to shows and people come and they have their wine and they do their cheese and then they go, and that's pretty much it. There's no day-to-day connection outside of that show you do once every year or every couple of years or so. So it's nice to see a project like this where people are coming and it's giving people the opportunity to open up and stay for more than 5 minutes, to be able to, and then they're thinking about it afterwards. I was just talking with Cheryl Baldwin, who's the director of the Georgie, and she said, yeah, the minute I sat on the porch, all my memories of all the childhood, and that's, I think, what this does, and I think that's a good thing. I think it's good for people to share stories in person, and this is getting people out of, because Facebook is one thing, and emails and Twitter and all the social media, I do it too, but you can't have a conversation like this.
No.
You just can't, and just to let all the free-flowing ideas go back and forth, and watching the cars go by as we're talking, and looking around at all of the little different things that are on this porch that you said were donated by different people in the community. It's alive. And that's what I noticed when I was walking down the street. I said, oh my God, there's a life to this little portable porch. It's not just a structure, and there's stories in each one of the pieces that are here, and I think that is what is so brilliant about the whole thing. And nothing is fancy. Nothing is fancy.
It's kind of rustic and raw.
Yeah, but it's all there's things here that meant something to somebody somewhere along the line,
and I tell you, they now mean a hell of a lot to a lot of other people, all the fabricators who've worked on the project. Every single piece comes with the story, and we know the people that have given it to us. We've spent time with them. We've often been on their porches, and taken right into the heart of their family, and it's absolutely extraordinary.
It is. It's. I think it's all about stories, and I think that's the one thing throughout the ages. People still love telling stories, and they love sharing stories. And I think that when a piece has a story, or when a place has a story, I think people resonate to that. And I think that's probably why, I'm sure I'm not the first person that has come up here and just felt like talking.
Yeah.
Whether they know what's going on with the project or not. I came here knowing, but a lot of people might have found you by accident. Yeah. Not knowing and still wanting to do that. So I think people have stories they want to share, and I think it's important that they do. And the littlest story can have a huge impact to somebody else. Yeah. And you just never know. You never know what's going to happen. And then if you're sharing these online besides, then they just get to go further, and that's just,
I really want to share. The whole project is about conversation and collaboration and community. And it was interesting you were talking about the online communities and their role, and the difference between this face-to-face, where I can actually put my hand out and touch you again. And actually, because actually, I think we
did
kind of met on Facebook.
We met on Facebook,
and now here you are. So
in person, and now I'm getting the full picture. It's not. It's kind of like the difference between looking at a glass of wine or watching somebody drink a glass of wine on TV and actually having that wine in front of you and being able to drink it. I mean, that's the whole.
Yeah.
That's the whole difference. There's a much. It's real life. It's face to face, and I think people still need that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I think that, because I know me personally, I mean, I think people spend a lot of time on social media. It's just because it's become part of business.
Yeah.
It's become a part of a lot of things, and I think you crave that personal because because I was just thinking the other day. I'm thinking, my gosh, I just spent 2-3 hours between my emails throughout the day, and it's like 5 years ago I didn't have a computer.
Yeah.
So what did I do with those 2-3 hours during the day? I was seeing people. It was much more of an in-person.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Also, too, I had been, although I'm from this area originally, I had been living in Montreal for like 15 years. And there you have that community. That's what this reminds me of as well, where they have the outside cafes.
Yeah.
And that's their porch. That's where people go out and, to see and be seen. And you see somebody walking down the street, come on, have a cup of coffee, and you sit outside, and it's that social aspect while having all the cars and everybody else walking by, the people watching. And that's a very European attitude. And you don't get that so much here because everybody's always in their cars.
Yeah.
And they're not.
I do quite like waving at people that I will never meet.
Yeah.
In their cars.
And you just kind of wonder. I mean, you think of just the number of cars that just go by this corner right here, and all the people you still don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, these are people that maybe aren't even on Facebook, but there's people that look at them. Who are they? Where are they going? This guy in the truck that just walked by. I mean, who are all these people?
Fun.
And where are they going? And what are they doing?
So yeah, we're here on the corner in Greenwich, New York, and we are right between the Greenwich Free Library and the Greenwich Town offices. So we're just fitting, as usual. Porch Pieces is just fitting right in, and every time we pitch up and set up, we suddenly feel like we just fit right in.
Well, you look like you belong, because I was expecting a really stark structure. I was, just something cobbled together to kind of...
a gestural drawing. Right at the beginning of the project, she was like a gestural drawing of just...
Yeah, just like
we
the
didn't
outside,
have a ceiling.
So when I drove by, I'm like, oh my god, it looks like a house. And if I didn't know any better, I would have thought that there was a whole house behind this, because it looks so real, and it's painted, and it's decorative, and you even got part of the ceiling that's like part of it's painted, part of it's not.
That's a Bill Eberly ceiling you're looking at. Yeah.
Yes, every part has their name to it.
Yeah.
It's fabulous. I think that's it's such a good thing. Now I want to know what happens after this, because this was a project that you had within Washington and Warren counties in upstate New York.
That's right. Funded through LARIC.
Now what happens after this? I think you should go further.
Well, we're trying
if you want a traveling companion.
Well, no. Oh, yeah, you can come too.